version 2.0. Now featuring ultra high fidelity. You'll feel like you're in the game. Plus more opportunities to win weekly prizes from local businesses when you click it to win it. Download the 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app today at Google Play or the Apple Store.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Monday. Sunny this afternoon and evening with a gentle breeze at 11 miles per hour coming out of the west-southwest and temps near 78. Tonight we will have clear skies and be cool at 65. Mostly sunny tomorrow and a high 82. A mixture of mostly clouds and very light rain Wednesday with a temp of 80. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
So you've heard the saying that if you love your job, you'll never have to work? Well, it's true.
I've worked for Brock Lawn and Pest Control for many years. The commitment to the needs of customers
and their commitment to each employee makes Brock a company I'm very proud to be a part of.
Brock's core values are also mine. Give people more than they expect and always honor your promises.
This isn't a job, it's a service to help people live a healthier lifestyle.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, our family protecting your family.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Take your next adventure at an award-winning Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Discover the new Kia. We invite you to stop by Bill Bird Kia and test drive the new 2025 Kia. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. The 2025 Kia SUV family has movement that inspires. Drive away today in a new 2025 Kia Soul, Seltos, Sportage, Sorento, or Telluride. Fuel the thrill and command the road in the luxury of a 2025 Kia K5 sedan from Bill Bird Kia. Performance, power, and design built for you. Spark inspiration in the all-electric 2025 EV9. It's a modern masterpiece, fast charging, rugged, and roomy. Bill Bird Kia is the original home for the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or anytime at BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust. Your local community dealer is Bill Bird Kia.
Krispy Kreme Donuts has a new Craving Cheesecake collection featuring 3 limited-time donut flavors. There's Strawberry Dream Cheesecake, Cookies and Cream Cheesecake, and Caramel Delight Cheesecake Donuts. All available at Krispy Kreme Donuts in front of HCA Hospital on 23rd Street, Panama City, and on the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan. Krispy Kreme Donuts since 1937. Krispy Kreme Donuts, where you get them hot.
Whether you're an experienced investor or first-time buyer, Beach House will provide you with top-notch service to guide you through every step of the process. We make the real estate process fun and easy through effective marketing, strategic advertising, and always a client-focused experience. From single-family homes to full-scale developments, Beach House Sales Development has you covered. Check them out at beachhousesalesfl.com or give them a call at 850-919-3500.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. John. Powered by Panama City Toyota, ESPN Northwest Florida. Broadcasting from the Gulf Plus studio. It's the Inside Drive. It's the next evolution of sports talk radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now we're taking...
With the first pick.
This is the last ball you got to bat.
The Inside Drive. From college to the pros. Interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And good Monday morning. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. 104.3 in Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe, and it is a spectacular day out there today. The humidity is low, the dew point's in the 50s, and the sun is shining. A beautiful spring day right here in the Florida Panhandle. We appreciate you tuning in to the Inside Drive. Of course, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. If you're not watching on there, all you got to do is search up ESPN Northwest Florida. You can find it. You can watch it live, listen to it live, and of course you could watch it after the fact as well. We got 3 great local shows: Coach James Hale's show from 7 to 9, Inside Drive right here from 11 to 1, and of course the afternoon Underdogs from 4 to 6 p.m. You can download our free mobile app inside the Google Play or Apple Store. All you got to do is search 104.3. We got lots of contests going on in that app right now. We're giving away t-shirts left and right. Feel a little bit like Oprah here on ESPN Northwest Florida. You get a t-shirt. You get a t-shirt. So make sure you download that free mobile app for your chance to get an ESPN Northwest Florida t-shirt. And of course, you can head over to ESPNPC.com. You can listen live there, but while you're there, if you want to save some money on your streaming service, you need to go ahead and sign up for Scorpion TV with code ESPNNW. It's just $45 a month, over 5,000 channels on demand, over 10,000 movies on demand. They even have a whole series section there on that homepage, so you can jump to any series that you want to find. Of course, it carries all the pay-per-view events, all the fights, and then all the money that you have to pay, the extra money for, to watch all the NFL games, all the hockey games, all the NBA games that aren't nationally televised, of course, because those are already on those local and regional channels. So check that out. That is Scorpion TV right there on ESPNPC.com. Coming up this Sunday, everybody, make sure you do what you got to do. It is Mother's Day coming up this Sunday. Just a friendly reminder that don't forget about Mother's Day, because without mothers, we would not be here today. There's no...
You preach the truth.
No day. I mean, it's facts, actual facts. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. These kids got guts. Did you ever watch that show on Nickelodeon, Guts?
I don't
really remember what it's about. I just remember the slogan for the show. But
was that Camp Onawana or whatever?
That was a whole show in itself.
Yeah.
Camp Onawana, we hold you in our hearts, and when we think about you, it makes me wanna.
You're not gonna get me.
Not gonna get you. Not gonna get you. Speaking of not...
Part with air?
Part with air. Part with air. That is indeed correct. That is indeed correct. But hopefully you, obviously I wasn't here on Friday, but we had Alan Sandage on Thursday giving us our Kentucky Derby breakdown and preview, and he gave us 5 winner picks. And if you were listening and you did all 5 of those, you would have won yourself some cash money, as we had a pretty exciting victory. I unfortunately didn't get a chance to see it and or bet on it. A little disappointed in that, but that is quite all right.
Oh, you didn't? You weren't able to watch it?
No, because we had a basketball tournament this weekend, and kudos to Southern Elite Sports, too, for putting on a great Cinco de Mayo tournament, and happy Cinco de Mayo for everyone out there. But yeah, didn't have a chance because our first game was at 6:10, so we were already there, and my service and breakfast points gym is absolutely terrible, so didn't have a chance to see it, but I should have at least bet it. I had some money in Twin Spires that was there from last year's Kentucky Derby, where I believe he gave us the winner, too. But it was a very wet Kentucky Derby this past weekend, and the day came to a close with a shiny new trio of winners on Saturday night. Sovereignty roared past the race favorite Journalism in the stretch to win the 151st Kentucky Derby by 1.5 lengths.
It was crazy.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I've watched the replay, but watching the replay is nothing like watching it live.
Yeah, those 2 minutes that go by the fastest in all of sports.
2 minutes in sports, absolutely. In front of a massive crowd of 147,406 people there at Churchill Downs up in Louisville, Kentucky. The victory was a first for all of Sovereignty's connections. Trainer Bill Mott, who's 71, was previously credited with a victory when Country House, captured the 2019 Kentucky Derby, but via disqualification. This time, he got to watch his own horse cross the finish line in front for the first time in the Run for the Roses on Saturday. Jockey Junior Alvaredo had made 5 previous Kentucky Derby starts, but never finished better than 4th, obviously before this Saturday. And owner Godolphin, what a great name, Godolphin Racing, headed by Shaikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the ruler of Dubai, as last realized its long-held dream dream of winning a Kentucky Derby, further proving how much money you have to own these racehorses. Excuse me. The morning line and race time favorite Journalism ended up in second place in the 19-horse race with Beza third, and that Beza was the late addition as you had a couple scratch kind of late in the mix, and Beza ended up getting in and ended up finishing third. The final margin, as we said, was officially 1.5 lengths with another neck back to third place. Sovereignty paid $17.96 to win, $7.50 to place, and $5.58 to show. Second place Journalism paid $4.95 and $3.70, and then third place Beza, if I'm pronouncing it might be Bieza, paid $8.38. In all sources, this was a record $349 million were bet during Sunday's 14-race Kentucky Derby card, and according to Churchill Downs, beating the previous record of $320.5 million set last year. Who says our economy's not doing well? We're betting more than we ever have in our entire lives.
There you go. Sometimes stupidity works out for the economy, right?
That's right. All sources wagering on the Kentucky Derby race itself was a record $234.4 million, beating the previous mark of $210.7 million set last year. Derby week, all sources betting totaled $473.9 million, topping the previous record of $446.6 last year. Almost $500 million on all sources, meaning anywhere you can bet, not just at the track, obviously on Hard Rock, TwinSpires, BetESPN, FanDuel, DraftKings, all the different BetMGM, all these different sites out there. And of course, the only ones we can use here in the great state of Florida is Hard Rock Bets, but also you can bet legally with TwinSpires as well because we have horse racing in this state.
There you go. So, I was curious about that a few years ago when I downloaded the TwinSpires app and was able to use it. I didn't bet anything on this one.
Yeah.
But I just, the 11th race, right? I think there's 12 races in the Derby. The 11th race was wild because it was like 6 horses wide. and that ended at 550 or so. And 450. And I'm like, all right, so the Kentucky Derby will be starting at 5 or whatever. Then I look it up. Or no, I see it says horses will post at 7:02 Eastern. I'm like, wait, we got a whole hour?
Because they got to go through the pageantry and all that stuff. Riders up to the paddock, please.
Yeah.
They get up and they got to parade them around. And
I love when they show I love when they race in the mud, though.
Yeah.
And at the end, the jockeys are just covered in mud. Yeah.
Absolutely. But kind of running through Sovereignty first, Journalism second, Bieza third, Final Gambit fourth, Owen Almighty fifth, Burham Square was sixth, The Sandman, who I think Alan was going to bet on him just because of the name. He's got the nickname The Sandman. East Avenue eighth, Chunk of Gold ninth, Tistastic was 10th, followed by Coral Battle, Luxor Cafe, Neoqueos, Publisher, Citizen Bull, American Promise, and Render Judgment, followed by Flying Mohawk, and last but not least was Admire Daytona.
I think my favorite name of those was Flying Mohawk. I almost got on TwinSpires just because of the name.
Yeah, I mean that's probably how a lot of people bet in that particular fashion. Is I like that name, I'll bet on it because I mean, if you don't know anything about, you can look at the odds and the odds tell you enough, but at the same time, like if you're looking for that kind of higher payout, betting a horse that's, 6 to 5 to win, you got to bet, $6 to win 5. All the different payouts out there were pretty cool. You got the Daily Double with the Oaks and the Derby. That's betting the winner of the Kentucky Oaks, which is the big race Friday night, followed by that Kentucky Derby. If you got the exacta right, the 18 and the 8, I would have paid $48.32 on $1. If you would have got the Superfecta, that's all 4 in order. That would have paid $1,682.27 on a $1 bet. And then the Super High 5, that's all 5 horses in a row. That would have paid you $38,000 and change on a $1 bet. But
George Washington turned it into a military.
Yeah, absolutely. But, the chances to hit that are obviously probably about 38,000 to 1.
Yeah.
But I'm sure somebody got it. 50-cent trifecta would have paid you $115.56. And then, of course, a 50-cent pick 3 would have got you $64.16. So many different ways to win there in horse racing and a lot of different ways to do it. But,
We do have some here in Florida, and I know you can go to Ebro, I think, and bet on horses as well.
Nice.
I think they got a little book there as well. I thought this was kind of neat. The Kentucky Derby's most expensive horses. Since 1982, 24 Kentucky Derby starters have been Kentucky Derby starters.
Derber. I like that. The Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, I'm just channeling my accent. Yeah, I'm just trying to fit in. But all these starters have been purchased for at least $1 million at public auction. Do you know how many won the Kentucky Derby out of those 24 that have been purchased for over $1 million?
I'd say 2 of them.
Good guess. You were very close. One. Yep. And that was in 2000, the year 2000, when Fusachi Pegasus, who they bought for $4 million, got first place in that Kentucky Derby. You also had 2009 Dunkirk, who was purchased for $3.7 million and finished 11th. Third highest horse paid was Mendeleshon for $3 million, finished 20th. That's dead last in that particular Derby back in 2018. 1989, Houston was bought for $2.9 million, finished 8th in the Derby. 2024, remember this name, Sierra Leone from last year, was bought for $2.3 million and finished 2nd on that huge comeback by, what was the name of the horse that won last year? Mystic Dan won last year, was wire to wire all the way around, which doesn't happen very often, the longest race of the Triple Crown. 2009 Desert Party was purchased for $2.1 million and finished 14th. 2001 Talk Is Money for $1.8, finished 17th. Tiaba for $1.7 million in 2022 finished 12th. Carpe Diem, I remember that name, finished 10th back in 2015, purchased for $1.6 million. Cowtown Cat, it's kind of fun to say all these names too, $1.5 million, finished dead last in the Kentucky Derby in 2007. 1996 Unbridled Song was purchased for $1.4 million, ended up finishing 5th. 2000 Exchange Rate, $1.4 million, finished 12th. 2004 Lionhearts, another 1.4, finished 2nd. So at least they got some money back there because you get paid for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd as the actual owner of the horse. AP Warrior, 1.3. Tapit Trice, 1.3. That was 2023. Finished 7th. I remember they were the favorite in that race. AP Warrior was 2026, finished 18th. Millennium Ward back in 01 was 1.2 million, finished 11th. Taprit was 1.2 million, finished 6th in 2017. Noble Causeway for $1.15 million, finished 14th in that one. Any Given Saturday, great horse name there, great movie as well. Any Given Sunday was purchased for $1.1 million and finished 8th in the Derby in 07. And then back to 2000, High Yield was purchased for just over $1 million and ended up 15th. Moral of that story?
Don't spend so much money on the horse. You're not the Dodgers.
Yeah. There you go. They don't pitch real well out there. But no, just because it's an expensive horse doesn't mean it's going to win the Derby.
What about the cheapest horses that have won the Kentucky Derby? If you could Google that one, and Chef Ross brings up a really cool point that kind of exploded. I think it was maybe an hour before the race or so, but all of the horses in the 151st running of the Kentucky Derby were from the bloodline of Secretariat.
I saw that of Secretariat. I actually shared that with Alan. But yeah, that was pretty wild. Obviously, Secretariat, one of the best to ever do it, the only Triple Crown winner in our kind of lifetime, I guess you could say. But let's see. That's just giving me the...
What's his name? What's the horse's name? Oh, yeah, Sovereignty. Does Sovereignty have what it takes to get the Triple Crown? That was an amazing race, though, man. Again, like I said, the turf race right before was like 6 wide, and then you get that one, and they're all kind of jumbled up, and you don't know what's going to happen, and then Sovereignty just kind of shoots out of a rocket right at the end to get the win. But it was a good race, man. It was those are the only 2 races that I watched of it. But
we were talking to Alan on Thursday and kind of I asked him, well, do you think we'll ever see another Triple Crown winner in the history of, in our lifetime, really?
And he keeps up with that stuff.
He does. And he said, there could be, but he says a lot of the times when a horse wins the Derby, it may not be beneficial to run them in the other 2 because if they don't do so well, it'll devalue that horse. and, risk getting hurt too as well. So we'll see if Sovereignty ends up running in these next two legs, maybe at least one of the next one, either the Preakness or the Belmont Stakes. But every other weekend, and then I think the last one, there's 2 weeks in between that one. But let's see, I was trying to find, they don't have like a list like I just went through, but Seattle Slew won the Kentucky Derby in 1977. He was $1,200.
I was about to say $1,500. That was going to be my guess. It was $1,500. What'd you say? It was in the 78?
Yeah, 77.
77.
So, I mean, 1,277. I can't do that inflation math, but obviously would be a lot more in this day and age, but nowhere near over $1 million.
That's the extent of my inflation math. Is it was more expensive?
Yes.
Definitively.
I can't give you an exact number, but it was certainly more expensive nowadays, no doubt about that. They also had the biggest audience watching the Kentucky Derby since 1989 with 17.7 million viewers. And you could probably get that up closer to, 19 million with the actual people in attendance. Actually, a little over 19, probably 19.2, 19.3 million viewers. But yeah, so obviously the Kentucky Derby was very watched, and it's only 2 minutes long. So now, if you watch all the lead up and all that, watch him playing the bugle and all that stuff, but also
that's an hour long right there, right? Because
the
11th race ended at 5 o'clock, 4:50 or so, and because I was getting ready to go get something to grill, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna wait till after the Derby. Then I see 7:02 Eastern. I'm like, well, daggone, that's an hour away.
You could have grilled a whole bunch of stuff.
And we did.
There you go. And then you were ready for the actual running of the Kentucky Derby. But it makes sense that, the most bets were done and the most people watched it. Because I think those probably go hand in hand, because if you bet on it, you're probably certainly going to be watching it. American Pharoah and Justified win Triple Crown last decade.
American Pharoah and Justified. Justified does sound...
Let's see. Maybe they had 3 total.
So is that in reference to you saying Secretariat was the only Triple Crown winner?
Probably. But I really thought that was the case. Seabiscuit. Did Seabiscuit win? Remember that? Did you ever see Seabiscuit?
Was that a Disney movie?
I think so.
I might be thinking of Black Beauty.
Oh, that was a good movie, too.
Yeah. Justify won in 2018. And then American Pharoah did it in 2015. Affirm did it in 78. Seattle Slew did it.
Yeah, there's a whole 13 horses. Well, I was completely wrong. So Colin right, Colin wrong, Ryan right, Ryan wrong.
That's got a better ring to it. Ryan right, Ryan wrong.
Got more alliteration with the R's there. But yeah, lots of them. Starting with Sir Barton in 1919, Gallant Fox in 1930, Omaha, that was Peyton Manning's horse back in 1935, War Admiral in 1937. Whirlaway in 1941, Count Fleet in 1943, Assault in 1946, Citation, that's an interesting name, 1948, Secretariat, 1973, followed by Seattle Slew and Affirmed in the next 2 years. And then we just went a really long time. What's that? 78, that'd be 22 plus 15 is 37. So 37 years in between Affirmed and Pharoah in 2015.
Which is our lifetimes, essentially.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. So thank you, David. I said lifetime. I was not born yet, so that's fair. That's fair. But I missed, Pharoah and Justify are both been in our lifetime. So.
And this is kind of a cool fact. Justify's lineage is not just with War Admiral, which I don't know.
That was the one that won in 37.
Okay, but also with Secretariat as well. So, that's pretty cool.
A lot of family lines all trace back to the same thing.
Actually, I guess the lineage was Seattle Slew, Count Fleet, Gallant Fox, and all of those horses won the Triple Crown. I guess they were just saving up.
Yeah, that.
Saving up DNA.
Yep. But Secretariat is arguably the best Triple Crown winner of all time because he set speed records in all 3 races. His Kentucky Derby record still stands as the fastest in Churchill Downs history for a record 11 1/4 miles, and his time in the Belmont Stakes stands as the American record for 11 and I don't know, it's 11 over 2. What does that mean? I mean, probably 11 for, I don't know. Anyway, it's on the dirt.
Find out live with Ryan and David on the Inside Drive.
Absolutely. Seabiscuit beat War Admiral. That's right. That was in that movie, I'm pretty sure. It was a good movie.
Old Seabiscuit.
Yeah. Old Seabiscuit.
I don't think I've ever watched Seabiscuit, though.
It had to be a Disney movie. I think Black Beauty was a Disney movie.
Definitely
as well.
Black Beauty was. I remember that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to pivot from horse racing to NHL hockey, as it was a very exciting Game 7 weekend, culminating with an unbelievable comeback and victory by those Winnipeg Jets last night. You're listening to The Inside Drive. We'll be right back with Al Carl.
The next evolution in sports talk radio. We're back! On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. The Afternoon Underdog. The only live afternoon show in Panama City where you can win fantastic prizes from amazing local businesses every day.
That's right.
4 to 6 weekdays. The Afternoon Underdogs.
It's mayhem.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Monday. Sunny this afternoon and evening with a gentle breeze at 11 miles per hour coming out of the west-southwest and temps near 78. Tonight we will have clear skies and be cool at 65. Mostly sunny tomorrow and a high 82. A mixture of mostly clouds and very light rain Wednesday with a temp of 80. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Hewitt Tire and Auto. Call 850-769-7323. Your certified AAA service center and hometown towing. Visit them online at HewittTire.com. On Airport Road in Panama City. 850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and Hometown Towing.
Need a tow? Call Billy at Hometown Towing, 850-265-1562.
Now back to the Inside Drive, live and local from the Gulf Plus studios. The locals love it.
You're gonna love this. You are my favorite. It's my favorite.
Everybody's favorite. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey, live on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. I'm so glad he has been joining us throughout the playoffs. That's my good friend from up there in the DMV area, the lead ice technician of the Washington Capitals. Al, how the heck are you? What a weekend of Game 7 in hockey.
Yeah, Ryan, how's everything going? That just lived up to everything, all the hype. That was hockey in more than a nutshell. That was everything.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's start with the game that transpired on Saturday. Game 7 between the Colorado Avalanche and the Dallas Stars. Dallas at home trying, to win that victory in Game 7. And some may say the road team actually has an advantage in Game 7 simply because the home team is expected to win the series before it gets to Game 7. But, what do you kind of think about that? I was reading an article, and it kind of made a little bit of sense because there's a lot more pressure on the home team to win that Game 7 than there is the away team.
Well, I think everything is circumstantial, Ryan, at that point. Yeah, so, hypothetically, if you're the home team for Game 7, that means you have the better record. You're supposed to be the better team. I think more in the case of the Winnipeg-St. Louis series, that was the case. I think St. Louis probably had the least pressure of all four teams playing this weekend.
Yeah.
Because they had they didn't have the best start to the season, but they came in. They were, playing with house money. Nobody's expecting them to beat the President's Trophy winners from the regular season. But that Colorado-Dallas series, that was as even as you possibly could. That was supposed to be more of a Western Conference final matchup than a first-round matchup. It's unfortunate that these two had to play each other in the first round. Maybe in that series, it was a coin flip the entire way. I think a lot of people expected that game to go 7. And then in that case, home ice, you work all season to make sure you're at home for Game 7. You want the fans, and you see how the fans play an important part in hockey. getting their team going and the loudness or whatever. But, strategically, you get the last line change, and that is absolutely huge. You get the matchup you want the entire game.
Absolutely.
So there is a very significant home ice advantage when it comes to hockey.
Definitely. And, it kind of played out that way. The Avs got out to a 2-0 lead. No goals scored in the first period. Colorado took a 1-0 lead going into the third period. Padded that lead just a little bit, 31 seconds into that final frame, and we're leading 2-1. But then the Dallas Stars came roaring back with 4 straight goals, and obviously the last goal was that empty net goal. 2 goals late in the third period, both came on power plays. So exciting stuff. No lead is safe in playoff hockey, it seems like, and certainly the case with the Dallas Stars ripping off 4 goals.
All the guys to do it, right? Mikko Rantanen, the things that happened with him this season. When that trade happened with him for Marty Necas, it was I didn't understand it. And I think a lot of people were in my mind that maybe Colorado knew something that I didn't know or other people didn't know. But it seemed like an apples for apples trade. Marty Necas is a great player, but you're not getting better. You're not getting worse. You're not getting better. It seemed like one and the same.
Yeah.
But, man, to have that come back and bite you in the long run, oh, my God. Yep. How great does it feel to be Mikko Rantanen right now?
The poetic justice of his hat trick in that game on Saturday is pretty wild. Pretty wild. All right, let's flash forward to yesterday's game, and let's talk about that one a little bit. Obviously, I think St. Louis thought that they were going to get the dub in that one. They were up 3-1 with about, 2 minutes left in that game?
Yeah, like 2.5.
Yeah,
sure.
And a couple, that's why you just throw the puck towards the net, because it can bounce around and go in. And the Winnipeg Jets, who I even texted you last night, Alan, you called it. Yep. I said, well, President's Trophy winner may get eliminated again. You're like, not so fast, my friend. Look what happened with Colorado and Dallas. And certainly played out the exact same way. The Winnipeg gets 2 goals off of some deflections, including a goal with 1.6 seconds left in the game. That's how close the St. Louis Blues were to coming to beating the Winnipeg Jets, the President's Trophy winner, which goes to the team with the best record in hockey. They tie it up. They play in overtime games. Doesn't get any better than a Game 7 overtime, that is for sure, let alone a double overtime. And most of the period went down, and then late again, shot from the point, gets deflected out in front and goes in, and the Winnipeg Jets survive the scare there from the St. Louis Blues, who, if I remember when we were getting into the playoffs, Al, you said the team playing the hottest right now was those St. Louis Blues, and they gave the Winnipeg Jets everything they could want. Your thoughts on that game and that comeback?
Yeah, talk about a tough draw for Winnipeg. I mean, you work so hard. You have the best record in the entire league. You go end-to-end best record, and then you run into the team that was playing at the hottest second half. That was everything. And then full disclosure, I kind of was with you, even though I texted you back when I texted, it's not over. I rolled over and went to bed. I missed the whole thing again.
I missed the end, too, until this morning.
This is the second time I did that. Edmonton did it to me last time when I talked to you. But yeah, when it got to 3 minutes left, it's just like, I normally, it's mostly for football, but anything with Jets misery, I get great pleasure in. But the Winnipeg Jets, they just seem to be snake bitten with this first round. They kind of call them, up in Canada, they call them Toronto West, which is not a compliment at all.
It's not at all.
And it's mostly on Connor Hellebuyck, and that's kind of where it breaks my heart a little bit, because I like Connor Hellebuyck. He is our goaltender for Team USA.
Yep.
So I always pay attention to him, and now I got him and Ottinger. You got our two goalies going at it next round.
Yep.
But you pay attention, and you just don't like it when the guys, you hate those guys. He's a regular season guy. He's a regular season guy. What Peyton Manning was before he won a Super Bowl. What Aaron Judge is kind of going through right now. You hate to see it with these guys, and it's just glad that he got over, because he let up those 2 goals quick. The first one, okay, maybe overslid. It's not really 2-on-1 tough situation. Second one he should have had.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things where, it was one of those things where he just kind of, you're glad he got out of that funk, because you could just see, you said the emotions of the Game 7, and I know that's your next question, but like you said, having that home ice, having the fans there, the air was completely sucked out of that building after that second goal. There was just no oxygen there.
Yep.
And I'm glad they rebounded from it for Connor Hellebuck's sake.
Absolutely. He locked in and pretty much, got them to the end of that and got the victory. Someone who is listening just sent me a Twitter post of St. Louis fans watching from St. Louis, and instead they were trying to record them winning and moving on to the second round, but instead they recorded an absolutely tragic and brutal moment for Blues fans and Blues players. Pivoting to why Game 7s are so important, or so not important, but so awesome in hockey. We have Game 7s in basketball, baseball, obviously not football, it's single elimination. But what makes Game 7s in hockey so special, in your opinion?
And that's what it is. It almost is kind of like football, where, it is one, with all Game 7s, really, it's like you're down to one game, all right? So that's what makes the football playoffs so great. It's just one game, and then you just got to be better that day. Now, with hockey, these fans we're very emotional. I feel it. I can go through a game day. Let's say, the last game, Game 5, we're up 3-1 in the series, and okay, I'm going through the day, and all of a sudden you're getting closer to game time, and my nerves start going up, and I don't know why. It's like, oh my God, I don't want to go back to Montreal. You want to end it, So it's just the emotions of it, the ups and downs of it, and the pressure. And the thing with best of 7, it's like, okay, you can beat this team. You did it 3 times, but then on the other side, it's like, this team can beat you because they just did it 3 times.
Yep.
It's just a mind mess, right? I guess for lack of that phrase.
Yeah.
You just go through all the emotions, and then you saw it firsthand with Winnipeg last night. Like I just said, like after that second goal was let up, it's just like, oh my God,
Well, then you start thinking we were the best team in the league, and we're going to let this thing go away, and it's hard not to let that creep into the brain. But thankfully, they got some late goals to tie it up.
Yeah, it's just the emotions of it. And it's not just Winnipeg, and it's not even just Canada. You look at, all of a sudden hockey is now, Hockey USA is now in the great state of Florida down by you between what Tampa and Florida have been doing. But these are very emotional fans. They're very into it. They're very loyal, and it's when you have a team that's been snake bitten for so long, such as Winnipeg. Colorado won recently. Dallas got to the finals recently. St. Louis won it recently. Winnipeg, they had a hump to get over. So, they went into there a little more eggshellish probably than other teams.
Yeah, well, obviously, hopefully that'll bounce them into that second round. Speaking of the second round, Caps Hurricanes set to get underway tomorrow. What are the keys to that series for your Washington Capitals up there, Al?
Well, first things first, before I get into that, I just got to tell you, Rye, it was an absolute pleasure, looking back at it now, and I can, the pressure's off, but just I'm so happy we got paired up with the Montreal Canadiens in that first round, because I tell you what, that team is going to be a serious problem in like 2 years. Their team is young and they're fast. Their power play unit, their first power play unit, I think it's a guy who's 23 and then 3 guys who are 20, and then the guy Demidov. He's 19 years old, and he's the difference maker out of them all. He's got he reminds me a lot of Connor McDavid, and it's not the fact that of playing style and whatnot, but like, you can tell when he's on the ice. You know who he is. You can tell how he skates, and he's very smooth, and he stands out. And they just said, shout out to the Montreal Canadiens. I'm just glad it's not now, and it's 2 years from now, maybe even sooner.
Yeah.
But that team is going to be a problem. But yeah, for Washington and Carolina, we'll just go cliche here, and it's physical play and goaltending. It's going to be
a great series.
Yeah, the teams don't like each other. They got into it a couple weeks ago, twice. The one time, they snuck us down in Carolina. We fought back a little the next week at home, and there's not a lot of friendship here. Not that there ever is, but there's some animosity. It's division rivals, and that's the way hockey likes it, and that's why the playoffs are the way they are, is to get these division rivals against each other. But the physical play, you saw what Tom Wilson did. He turned that entire series around with one hit.
One single hit changed everything.
It deflated the Canadiens for the next 10 seconds, and then the rest of that game, and then the entire Game 5, because Montreal, unfortunately, they just were not in that game at all. The Caps just snuck them out for 60 minutes in Game 5. And then just goaltending. Freddie Anderson's going to be back in Carolina. I know firsthand how good he is. Actually, we as a member of the Islanders, he got us the last 2 years, and we couldn't score a lick on him. So Freddie Anderson's going to be different, and the Logan Thompson's guys stay stay on top of his game as well, because he did a fantastic job in that first series. That series could have probably went 6 or 7 if it wasn't for Logan Thompson. He made some great saves, some game-changing saves. And, you kind of think with the teams between 5 and 6 days off in between these games, these guys they're healthy now. They're rested. They're going to come out guns a-blazing.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. We're getting down. Obviously, first round's great, but every round we go further, it's more intense, more fun, and I encourage you, if you've never watched playoff hockey, to give it a try, because you won't be disappointed. Al, you got obviously some work to do. You got the home game coming up tomorrow night, 6 p.m. here in the Central Time Zone, 7 p.m. your time. Are the preparations any different for what you have to do when it comes to playoff hockey versus a regular season game?
It's different in a sense, like more off-ice stuff now. Our guys here, the ice techs here, and myself, the ice is going to stay the way it is. The players are happy. They're obviously winning. We're not going to do anything to alter that. But, yeah, the outside weather, it's getting warmer outside. It is, I guess it's a lot more humid in the DMV than what I'm used to. I guess the further south you go, the more humid it gets. But, we're battling the outside elements, and it's only going to get worse, unfortunately. We got to keep the building conditions at a nice, acceptable level. And then all of a sudden media. Media is a thing that's on the radar. You got all these TV trucks. You got all these networks. We had 4 stations televising that last series against Montreal. And, it's withered down now, too, because all the local affiliates are gone now. It's all ESPN and TNT. But, it's just there's a lot of other factors that you got to stay on point and make sure everybody's happy and is preparing in that sense, and he's been doing a pretty good job of it.
Yeah, no, kudos to you and your team. Obviously, a exciting time in your first year there with the Washington Capitals. Got a kind of crazy stat for you. I'm going to see if you have an answer for the reason that the Minnesota Wild are the first team ever in the 4 major sports to make the playoffs 8+ times in a 10-year span and lose in the first round every single time. What do you think the deal is with the Minnesota Wild? Are they just snake bitten when it comes to winning that series? Are they the new Toronto Maple Leafs?
Yeah, you don't know. Sometimes it's matchups. Sometimes, I know Minnesota's a very, very, very good team, and they had a tough draw with Vegas because Kirill Kaprizov was hurt all season. You got a guy who can score 100 points a season, and he was missing, it's like 75% of it. Now, granted, he was back, but now all of a sudden you're getting tested early. I don't know if they're just snake bitten. I don't know. I mean, the difference between them and what Toronto did, because Toronto like to get those 3-1 leads before they blow it. They
yeah, that's true.
They like to just make it epic. Even though Minnesota battles. Yeah, I haven't followed the Wild that closely. I know they are a very good team. They give me problems every time a team I work for plays them, and they're consistently in. I mean, I guess maybe they just need a better regular season to get a quote-unquote easy. So there's no easy draw in hockey playoffs. So, maybe just get, an extra home game. Get that home game on Game 7 if necessary, instead of going on the road. But, yeah, they gave Vegas a run for the money. Vegas is a very good hockey team. And, it's just not Minnesota's time.
Yeah, absolutely. Off-script question for you, Al. Superstition is huge in hockey. Do you have a playoff beard going on?
I don't. Okay, so I try to remain professional. I remember I have done it before. I did it when the playoffs were in the COVID bubble. I let it go, and I absolutely hated it. So, but before that, I remember the 2012 Cup run with the Devils when I was working in New Jersey. I didn't do the playoff beard only because my niece and my nephew, my sister has twins, their first Holy Communion was right in the middle of the second round. So I did not want to start the superstition
and then have to
shave because I didn't want my sister's foot in my butt. So it's all personal preference. I tidy up. I let some of it go. I just tidy up to try to be. I'm at a professional point in my career now where I got to deal with guys in suits, so I try to remain. I do a trim.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I'd found out the reason why we lost the cup to the Kings in 2012, so thank you very much.
Yeah.
But what do you know what started that tradition? The whole playoff beard thing?
Islanders.
Oh.
The Dynasty Islanders.
The 80s teams.
For the Dynasty Islanders, from what I told, they were the ones that started it. I don't know why or how or what specific year in the 4 years that they won in a row, but from my understanding through my tenure when I was on Long Island, that Dynasty era, they started the playoff beard.
Huh. Interesting. Did not know that, but I appreciate you enlightening me there. All the favorites pretty much won except the Oilers and the Panthers. When I say favorites, the favorite in those matchups. Who do you think, obviously you want the Washington Capitals to win, but who do you think is the true odds-on favorite to win the Cup from here with the, we got 8 on each side, 16 remaining teams?
No, we're down to 8.
Eight.
My
math's
we're down to 8. We got 4 series left. We got all 4 division winners with Washington, with Vegas, with Winnipeg as of last night, and then Toronto. All 4 division winners, they advanced, and like I said, they now it's just tough division matchups.
Yeah.
You want to throw a dart at the board, obviously Washington's in the conversation, but if you go to Vegas, they're not even favored in the series against Carolina. So, who knows? These are all coin flips going forward.
Yeah.
Other than maybe Toronto, but because this is uncharted territory for them.
They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do.
But you still have the Florida Panthers. They're the champs until proven otherwise, and they looked really good in their series against Tampa, and that was not an easy series. And all of a sudden, the Edmonton Oilers.
Yep.
Connor McDavid is now, they have their goaltending situation straightened out, it looks like, with Calvin Pickard. And Connor McDavid is doing Connor McDavid things with Leon Draisaitl. The Edmonton Oilers are going to be a problem. If there's such a thing as an 8-sided coin, you flip it, and there's who you think it's going to be. And that's another thing that makes hockey so beautiful. And Game 7, eventually, one of these is probably going to go 7. It's just you don't know what you're walking into when the puck drops.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll talk about it when we get back. Al, appreciate your time. Good luck tomorrow night, and hopefully your Caps can come out of this series and prove the Vegas odds makers wrong. We appreciate you hanging out, Al. Have a great rest of your week.
Yeah, you too, Ryan. It's good talking to you. Thanks again for having me on, guys.
Of course. Look forward to talking to you next Monday. That's Al Carl. He's the lead ice technician up there for the Washington Capitals. You're listening to The Inside Drive. We'll be right back.
Only 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida could bring sports fans like you an app this powerful. The sports content you crave is always on. Live stream us everywhere you go. Now with upgraded programming and live game schedules, you'll always know when the Atlanta Braves and your favorite games are playing. Plus, interact with our local hosts in real time and so much more. The new app for the sports fanatic is available at the Apple Store and Google Play. From 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Get your mom a beautiful color gemstone that she'll cherish and wear for a lifetime from Tracy's Fine Jewelry. And just in time, Tracy's Fine Jewelry is offering our entire collection of color gemstone jewelry, rings, earrings, pendants, and bracelets at 60% off. That's right, 60% off our entire selection. The largest selection and the lowest prices are just some of the reasons why people choose Tracy's Fine Jewelry to find the perfect gift for Mother's Day. Tracy's Fine Jewelry, 2621 East 15th Street in Panama City.
That boot store reminds you Mother's Day is just around the corner. Make it a Western Mother's Day by shopping that boot store. You'll find a huge selection of Western wear for the youngest to the oldest mother, and at prices you can afford. Gift certificates are available too, so Mom can shop for herself. That boot store open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 till 5, Friday and Saturday, 9 till 5:30. That boot store next to Bill Bird Kia, 15th Street, Panama City. That boot store, where God is good all the time.
Now back to the Inside Drive, live and local from the Gulf Plus studios. And now the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey.
We're gonna have a talk.
Tell me what you know.
It's a frantic noise.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. I guess Michigan's head coach is looking to be suspended 2 games during the 2025 season as part of Michigan's self-imposed sanctions from the Connor Stalions scandal.
How wild is that they're still suspending people for that situation?
It's been going on for
Harbaugh was suspended during that time.
Yeah.
Teron Moore stepped up during that time. I mean, there's probably more evidence to it than it just being a witch hunt, as we've heard in the past. But I saw that this morning. I'm like, this is kind of wild. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Especially if we're going to do that, then look into every top program.
Right.
Alabama, Ohio State.
There's going to be something.
Exactly. And suspend all of their coaches and then the interim coaches and all of that good stuff. So, I don't know.
Yep. College football continues to be a very, very interesting place. David, who do you think is the odds-on favorite right now to win the Stanley Cup?
Man, that's tough. I would go with Vegas or Florida.
Ooh, your second one was correct. The Florida Panthers, currently plus 400 to win the Stanley Cup. Las Vegas is plus 650 to win the Stanley Cup. The Washington Capitals actually have the highest odds at plus 1,000 to win the Stanley Cup, followed by Winnipeg at plus 900, Toronto at plus 800, Vegas at plus 650, Dallas at plus 500, the Hurricanes and the Oilers both plus 475, and of course the Florida Panthers, the defending Stanley Cup champion, at plus 400. Thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Especially Washington kind of being so high, even though they were the best team in the East.
Yeah.
That's sensical, but it seemed like they had maybe one of the easier routes in the first round going into the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll see.
Definitely
like Toronto,
based on
though,
matchups for sure.
I don't know about Toronto.
Yeah, plus 800, that's probably...
I mean, the value is nice. I just don't think there's a reality there. I think without... Who does Vegas have in this next round?
They have...
Would it be Winnipeg?
It is the Oilers, Edmonton.
Oh, Edmonton. So you got Winnipeg versus Dallas then?
Yes, correct.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep.
That's going to be a heck of a match. I think Vegas and Dallas could absolutely be your Western Conference Finals. And then in the East, who does Washington have?
The Hurricanes.
I like Washington to get past Carolina.
Still a tough draw, though. Hurricanes a really, really good hockey team, especially in the playoffs. And then I think you could probably take it to the bank. Don't know how many games it'll take, but I would imagine that Florida's going to take care of business against Toronto.
Yeah, that's I would take it to the bank. I wonder
let me see if I can find that particular series.
What the odds
are. Let's see.
I'll tell you, man. Now that the Lightning have officially been bowed out there by the Florida Panthers, there's a side of me that is rooting for Ovechkin to kind of put the exclamation point on the 895. But then you look at Winnipeg and Dallas, which again is on the other side of the bracket. But with Winnipeg and Dallas, how much motivation? Yes, they're going to be tired after the double overtime game 7 thriller. But how much momentum did they gain by being down by 2 goals in a 3-1 game? And there's that never quit ideology beaten in the back of your brain.
And you saw it come to fruition. So now, like, you get down a couple goals, you can come back. I mean, you can always come back, but they know it with the proof in the pudding.
And on top of that, in Game 6, they lost like 5-1.
Yeah, they got smoked in that game. The Jets and the Stars series, Dallas is a minus 160 favorite. Winnipeg, a plus 135 favorite. Capitals and the Hurricanes are minus 155. The Capitals are plus 125. Some value in that. Capitals winning the series. Florida Panthers, minus 175. Toronto Maple Leafs, plus 140. And then, of course, the Edmonton Oilers and the Vegas Knights. Edmonton is at minus 120, and Vegas is plus 100. The Panthers have which makes sense because they do have them as the odds-on favorite to win the Stanley Cup as well. But the Panthers have the biggest or the lowest, worst, however you look, I never know what to say, odds at -175 in all these series matchups. But
tough to go back-to-back, though, especially now that we're back. Because the last team to do it was the Lightning, right?
Yep.
But they did that in 2020, which is arguably the toughest Stanley Cup to win, depending on how you look at it. I think for a lot of the players, they would say that. And then even in the next season wasn't, necessarily a true season. So it would be the first back-to-back since the Lightning and first in, regular seasons.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's in any sport, it's very, very difficult to go back to back just because it takes, especially in these long series. I mean, you got 1, 2, 3 series prior to the Stanley Cup final that you have to get through. I mean, and if you go 7 games, I mean, the Maple Leafs went 6 games in that, so the Panthers only went 5 games. So the Panthers have had a little bit more of a break than the Maple Leafs, but both teams there having a break. So we'll see how it all shakes out. I want to talk, let me find it. The Florida State Seminoles, one of our Coach Amy Bond, who just won ACC Coach of the Year.
Nice.
Mirabel Ting won the ACC Player of the Year. And a very, very proud Lottie Woad was all ACC as well. But the regional tournament just started today. They're almost done with round 1 in the regional tournaments. I believe it is the top 4 teams that advance from each regional with 6 total regionals throughout the country. Florida State, number 3 in the nation right now, off to a great start in that regional. They are 6 under through holes 14 through 18. The reason why it says holes 14 through 18 is because they have various players on different holes. But both Mirabel Ting, Kayla Williams, and Sophia Fulbrick all shot under par in their front 9. Lottie Woad with an even par round on her front 9, and looks like Mirabel Ting has gotten it to 2 more under, so she is 4 under on her round today. Probably leading the tournament. Let's see. Yes, she is indeed leading the tournament at -4. She's also currently the number 1 golfer in college right now. She's had a fantastic season. So we'll keep you updated on the FSU Seminoles as they try to make it back to the national championship for as many years as I can remember. Speaking of national championships, dude, I posted it on Facebook. I mean, probably nobody cares, but I'm going to say it anyway. 4-time defending beach volleyball national champion USC, that's the University of Southern California, lost to LMU in the opening round over there in Gulf Shores. So they got dethroned for the first time in 4 years by Loyola Marymount University.
Wow, that's a volleyball school.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Is it Loyola Marymount? Is that up in Illinois?
I believe so, yeah. That's where Sister Jean was like a big fan of them, and it's a more or less a basketball school.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't really think of Chicago, the Illinois area, as a beach volleyball powerhouse. Florida State, unfortunately, lost in the first round as well, but made it back to the national championship again. So just want to give a quick shout out to those particular sports moments. Also, we got we're going to talk to Alan Watson at 12:20, so I may kind of kick that down the road a little bit. But your Indiana Pacers, David Hayes, looking good in that second round, first game in the conference semifinals. They're up to a 1-0 lead over the number 1 seed Cleveland Cavaliers. And next game, I believe, is coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Did you do any bets on those Indiana Pacers?
I did, actually. I took the Pacers. I took Tyrese Halliburton over 10.5 assists, and then I took Pascal Siakam over 8.5 rebounds, and he finished at 7. So
of course,
one of those. It stunk a little bit, but I didn't care anything.
Yeah, they got the dub.
They looked good against arguably the best team in the East.
Yep.
Right. So I like that aspect of it. I feel like the Pacers feel underrated. Tyrese Halliburton had the 99 players or the 90 players calling him underrated or overrated rather. So I think. Yeah, that's what I mean, is that the Pacers feel like people think they're overrated. They were in the NBA Finals last year. This is going to be a tough series. The Cleveland Cavaliers are not a slouch, but the Pacers came out and kind of proved like, hey, we can hang with them, and we can beat them in a game. And to steal that first game on the road, we'll see what happens. Again, I think the Cavaliers are the better team in this series and will prevail. But as a Pacers fan, it's like, hey, hold on here. It's not over till it's over.
No doubt. No doubt. And another big game coming up. Loyola Marymount is not in Illinois.
Is it not?
That's Loyola University.
Oh, okay.
Loyola Marymount is in California. So 2 times today, I am not doing so well on my guesses.
I don't think anybody's going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you don't know the difference in Loyola and Loyola Marymount.
The good news is now.
Stop naming these universities so close. Like,
I know.
It'd be different
What's
if it was
up with
like
Loyola? It's
Loyola
like
and
Jesuit
Loyola
with all
State.
these teams all throughout the country.
Come on, what does Loyola even mean?
I don't know.
It's like kind of loyal, but not all the way loyal.
Partially loyal.
Yeah.
Loyola. Anyway, there you go, everybody. Learned some fun facts today. But we are set in all the other games. The Golden State Warriors just have the Houston Rockets number when it comes to the playoffs. They're now 5-0 in playoff series against them. They won in 15, 16, 18, 19, and, of course, yesterday with a great performance there in the second half by Steph Curry. And, of course, Draymond Green played great defense as well. They've beaten.
He scored the first 5 points of the game last night.
He's he's just kind of fun to watch. I know he's kind of a crapshoot. You never know when he's going to go off, but
you need some of those type of people to keep everyone on edge. Man.
Yep, absolutely. Keep the other team on edge. Keep your own team on edge.
Yeah.
But they've beat 4 different head coaches in that era: McHale, Bickerstaff, D'Antoni, and is it Udoka or Udoka?
I believe it's Ime Udoka.
Okay.
Now I'm second guessing.
That's
Udoka.
my fault. Somebody tell me because I'm probably wrong.
I'm going to go with Ime Udoka.
And, of course, they've won 2 of those series in 7 games, both being in Houston. There's been 27 missed threes, the 3-2 comeback, the Steph 23-point quarter, and now the Buddy Hield legacy game.
Yes, Buddy Hield had himself a night last night, which he's a journeyman and played for the Pacers for a while. But I mean, I've been kind of following his career a little bit since Oklahoma. It was nice to see him break out last night and play a huge role for the Golden State Warriors. And in Game 7 against a tough, chippy Houston team, man. That series was back and forth. So.
Physical series. Buddy Hield had 33 points on 12 of 15 from the floor, including 9 of 11 from three-point land. Huge.
Insane.
Without that, the momentum Golden State's obviously going to carry. What he's going to bring in the next round, I think, is going to maybe carry those Warriors a little bit. As the seeding can be a little bit, off. Obviously, the Timberwolves were 6, and they beat the Lakers, and the Warriors were 7, and they beat the Rockets. But if I remember correctly in the standings, they were all kind of within a few games.
Yeah, that West was...
So the standings really didn't implicate too much. But, so you've got the 6 and 7 seed, the Timberwolves and the Warriors. That game gets underway tomorrow. And then tonight, you got the Thunder and the Nuggets. OKC is minus 9.5 in that game. We'll do some picking here in the last and final segment here on the Inside Drive today. You've also got the Knicks and the Celtics getting underway. Game 2 for the Cavs and Pacers starts tomorrow. We got to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll be doing the Afternoon Delight debrief. You listen to the Inside Drive. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida. We're taking the Inside Drive.
All right, we got caller number 5 on the line. Who do we got out there?
Hey, this is LSU Neil.
Hey, how are you doing? Congratulations.
All right, thank y'all so much. I'm very excited about this.
Yes. Are you a golfer?
Part-time golfer.
I understand
Complete and utter novice.
Middays 11 to 1. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Monday. Sunny this afternoon and evening with a gentle breeze at 11 miles per hour coming out of the west-southwest and temps near 78. Tonight we will have clear skies and be cool at 65. Mostly sunny tomorrow and a high 82. A mixture of mostly clouds and very light rain Wednesday with a temp of 80. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVL2 Fort St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
And that's out of the ballpark.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards in Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Introducing the Peaceful Living Executive Planner and Daily Agenda, your faithful companion for 2025. Designed to help you navigate life with faith, gratitude, and intentionality, this planner will inspire, uplift, and guide you towards a peaceful and purpose-filled year. Get daily inspirational quotes and a peaceful word of the day, plus weekly challenges and monthly reflections. A vision board to map out your dreams. Embrace peace and purpose every day with the Peaceful Living Executive Planner and Daily Agenda. Get yours now at FroyersMin.com.
Broadcasting from the Gulf Plus Studios, it's the Inside Drive. And now, the afternoon delight debrief with the three degenerates from the Inside Drive.
Afternoon delight.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Skyrockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
And we are back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. 104.3 in Panama City and Panama City Beach. 101.9 in Port St. Joe. You can watch, like, listen, comment, subscribe, share, follow, all those amazing things right here on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. All you got to do is search up ESPN Northwest Florida. We appreciate all of our followers, all of our listeners, and, of course, all of our sponsors. You can also head over to the Google Play or Apple Store. If you want to win some T-shirts, that's where we're giving them away right now. All sorts of T-shirts. Like I said, we're like the Oprah Winfrey of radio right now. Everybody gets a T-shirt, but you can't get a T-shirt unless you got that free mobile app downloaded. You can find it in the Google Play or Apple Store. All you have to do is search 104.3. You can also head over to ESPNPC.com. You can listen live there as well. But while you're there, save some money on your streaming services for a mere $45 a month with code ESPNNW. You can download Scorpion TV. Most TVs carry it on their apps, and it's going to save you a lot of money with over 5,000 on-demand channels, including all the regional, local, sports, and news networks, over 10,000 movies on demand. If you're looking for a nice movie day, Scorpion TV certainly can take care of that for you. And then, of course, Best of Bay will be coming out here, I think, June 1st we determined?
I believe so, yes, sir.
And obviously we'll keep everybody posted, as here we are, the 5th of May, Cinco de Mayo, will be in June before we know it. School ending right around the corner. All right, let's talk about some afternoon delight debriefs. I'm going to start with one in the golf world. This is from Twin Cities Golf. It's a Minneapolis Instagram account with golf. Something never happened at Minneapolis Golf Club today, or something happened at Minneapolis Golf today that has likely never happened in the history of golf. 13-year-old Preston Miller from St. Louis Park, Minnesota, aced the 121-yard fourth hole with a 7-iron. He continued using the hole-in-one ball and unfortunately lost it on hole number 7. When hanging out in the clubhouse after the round for a celebratory pop, another golfer entered, sharing the good news that he, too, had a hole-in-one today. Preston extended his congrats and shared that he had aced the fourth hole earlier, but proceeded to lose his SLP golf team logoed hole-in-one ball several holes later. Shockingly, Minneapolis Golf Club member Ricardo Fernandez shared that he had found Preston's ball on hole 7, and when stepping up to play a later par 3, grabbed Preston's ball out of his bag, unaware of what happened earlier. Ricardo then proceeded to ace the 181-yard 16th hole, meaning one golf ball had 2 holes-in-ones on the same day at the same course by 2 different golfers. The question is, who gets to keep that golf ball? My first issue with this whole story is the fact that the young man, I don't know if that was his first hole-in-one or not, why do you play with that ball after you have the hole-in-one?
Yeah, that's, something I would never be able to think about is what I would do after.
You'll have one. You'll have one.
Putt-putt courses, but I haven't kept those balls.
Yeah, well, you're not technically supposed to. But, I've had 2 in my lifetime, and those balls went immediately in my bag and now in my golf ball pocket because I didn't want to mistake and pull those out. But that's a wild story. I mean, to find the hole-in-one ball and then make a hole-in-one with it, that's a lucky golf ball right there.
Yeah, I would keep that. I would probably just keep it in my pocket like I'm playing golf all the time.
Yeah, like a little lucky rabbit's foot.
Yeah, rabbit foot, there you go.
But it's a lucky hole-in-one golf ball. All right, let's dive into some of these stories from my favorite website there, upi.com/odd news. 2 drivers caught, this isn't a new thing, I think they used to do this in Atlanta all the time. 2 drivers caught using dummies in Washington carpool lanes. This was an HOV violation stop from this morning on northbound I-5 near 145th. Driver admitted this was the only way to use the HOV lane. The driver also indicated he has not named his passenger. Obviously, the passenger does not have a name as it is a dummy that was riding in the car. May 5th, Washington State Patrol said 2 drivers were caught using dummies to illegally drive in the carpool lanes in the space of just a few days. Trooper Rick Johnson, public information officer for the WSP, said on social media that the driver was pulled over Tuesday in the high-occupancy vehicle lanes of Interstate 5 near Shoreline when the trooper noticed the only passenger was a mannequin wearing a brunette wig, a plaid shirt, and a scarf. Driver admitted this is the only way to be able to use the HOV lane, Johnson wrote. The driver also indicated that he was not named his passenger. Johnson said the other driver was stopped 2 days later on I-5 in Federal Way when a trooper suspected a backseat passenger of being fraudulent. That one's not even really a dummy. I'm looking at the article, obviously.
Yeah.
The passenger was found to be a dummy doll wearing a bright yellow windbreaker and a baseball cap. Drivers stopped for incorrectly using HOV lanes in Washington are subject to a $186 fine with an extra $200 tacked on if the driver is found to be using a dummy or mannequin as a passenger. So it's only $186 if you're by yourself doing it, but if you throw a dummy or mannequin in there, it jacks it up another $200.
$386 is wild. Hey, they take that HOV lane serious. We have really got none of them around here.
No, we just don't have a lot of highway traffic around here. I was reading something else too, not related to this article, but it was a post talking about Atlanta traffic and how wicked it is and how nobody uses the HOV lane is nobody carpools.
Yeah.
You know, and you see it. I've been driving in Atlanta a bunch lately, and you see the HOV lanes. There's nobody ever in them.
Yeah.
Unless you're in an Uber or something like that.
So as long as you have 2 people, you're good for the HOV lane?
2 people, you're good for the HOV lane.
Yeah. So like you and your wife, that's not technically carpooling.
But you'd be good.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get pulled over. But yeah, maybe more people should carpool, put less traffic.
Do children count as...
That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that.
Your kid's not 18. You have been incorrectly utilizing the HOV lane.
Yeah, right. That's a good. I'm gonna have to look that up. Somebody text me. I've been getting a lot of good texts from correcting me. So I'm not gonna say that it's illegal or not.
Yeah.
Whatever I say will probably be the wrong answer.
We here in Florida. We're in Florida. We don't got to worry about it.
Just got to worry about those tolls down there near Orlando.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And then you get a text message that's fraudulent from the UK saying you owe money on the Florida Turnpike.
Be careful about them things because that scam will just...
That'll keep going.
Flourish into many other scams.
Never click on a text message that has a link that you don't think is right. You're basically giving access when you do that kind of stuff.
And it's bad enough because they probably already have some sort of access to be texting you.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
You've obviously answered a phone call or something in previous times. That's true, too. Like, don't answer spam. If you answer spam, they're going to flag you as somebody that answers spam, and you'll get more spam.
I've just got it now. If I don't have you saved, which isn't the greatest thing, because then I miss other certain calls, but if I don't have you saved in my contacts, then my phone doesn't even ring. It just says missed call.
Oh, that's a feature.
It rings, I guess, but I mean, still. Yeah. Even if it does ring.
If it's important, they can leave a message. If it's really important, they should have called 911.
Part B of that problem is bad for me as well because I don't have my voicemail. I've never set up a voicemail.
Oh, goodness.
It's like, text me, bro. That's the same thing as a voicemail, right?
It's like getting you text somebody and then they call you back.
Yeah.
If I would have talked on the phone, I would have called you.
Yeah, that's a good point. But you can hammer things out so much faster just.
Oh, absolutely. And you can't sense tone in a text message either.
That's also a good point.
Tone is a big thing when it comes to certain things. But I'll pivot to another story here. Florida woman, dog, escaped bear thanks to a bag of cookies.
Jay Henley must have been somewhere around there.
This is debunking his if it's black, fight back theory.
Okay.
Apparently, if it's black, just use a bag of cookies for these bears. May 1st, a Florida woman protected herself and a small dog from a bear by throwing the hungry Bruin a bag of cookies. Kristen Savage said she and her Chihuahua mix Ringo were walking near her home in Markham Woods area of Sanford when they had a close encounter with a wandering bear. I heard a bird. I was looking for a bird in the tree. Then I saw this black thing come at my leg, Savage told WKMG TV. I thought it was an off-leash dog at first, and then I realized it was a giant head. She said the bear was particularly interested in 13-pound Ringo. I hauled him like a piñata in the air, spun around to get away, she told WOLF TV. Savage said she keeps spinning. She's putting spin moves on this bear. She kept spinning to keep Ringo away from the bear, causing her to fall and incur bruises and scrapes on her leg. She said the encounter ended thanks to a bag of cookies from her mother. My mom lives just down the street, and she had stopped and handed me a bag of cookies for my kids. When I remembered they had them in my hand, I took the bag, whacked the bear across the face with it, further proving Jay Henley's theory. And then I threw it, Savage said. She came forward and she sniffed and then put her head down and sniffed the cookies, and we ran to the door. See, Vicky. Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission officials said they learned that the bear was a mother with her cubs nearby. That's not good. The FWC is working with neighbors to make sure trash and other attractants are secured. I don't put blame on the bear. I'm sure she was just as scared as I was, Savage said. As a mom, I would do whatever I can to protect my babies, and I'm sure she was doing the same.
Yeah. That's one animal. Well, there's multiple animals you don't want to mess with when they're around their young. Even birds, right? Like birds will, they will freak you out over their youngins. But yeah, that's it's not intuition, instinctive.
Yes,
of them.
Instinctive indeed.
We got a couple of texts coming in from Ohio State. Brad, he is trying to scam the station. He said, "Send this is FDOT. You owe us $8. Send to Venmo. Brad R13." And then Boston Tim, going back to the hole-in-one, said after he hit his hole-in-one at Bay Point on 10, 169 yards out, he pocketed the ball.
Yeah, you got
to.
Do
you still have the ball? Because like if I have a ball in my pocket, chances are I just don't know how you could forget that the ball in your pocket is a hole-in-one ball. Like you said, I put it in the bag.
Yeah, I put it in a different pocket in my bag that has my golf balls, and I still have both of my hole-in-one golf balls.
I'll find a daggum Sharpie somewhere and put like...
That's exactly what I did. Yeah. I wrote where it was, how far, what the date was, and... you never forget those kind of things. And, I just think maybe the kid, maybe he had multiple hole-in-ones. I don't know, and it wasn't that big deal for him, but certainly a big deal for most people.
Oh, man, I remember these balls. He says Boston Tim texted back, said it was a tournament, and they gave them the special Nike Mojo clear cover ball.
Yeah, I know.
And those Nike Mojo balls were awesome because they had the silver ones and different flavors, if you will.
Yeah,
I like those.
And they
balls.
had the one had a luminescent cover on it where you could kind of see the sparkle in it a little bit.
What do you call that? Like a metallic-y type.
Yeah. They were interesting.
I love Nike golf balls.
Yeah. They don't make them anymore.
I know.
Now they're all relics and antiques if you can find some.
Find them in the pond.
Yep, no doubt. Pivoting back to animals, monkey sighted is reported in a Florida neighborhood. A lot going down in Florida as of recent. Residents of a Florida neighborhood reported sightings of a monkey on the loose, prompting officials to warn locals to keep their distance. The Sullivan Ranch Neighborhood Homeowners Association in Mount Dora sent a warning to area residents this week, reporting that some locals have seen the monkey near a retention pond and in backyards along Sullivan Ranch Road. The HOA warned locals not to attempt to approach or capture the loose primate. The email said local animal control officials are investigating the sightings. The monkey reports come almost exactly a year after a string of monkey sightings in Lake County. Naxel Miranda captured a video of the monkey while he was picking up his daughter from South Lake High School in May of 2024. Monkeys are not native to Florida, but the population of the Rheas macaque monkeys have lived in the wild in the state for decades. Most of the monkeys live in and around the Silver Springs State Park, which is about 50 miles from Mount Dora. And that's it.
Mount Dora.
Her cousin Diego.
Yeah, there you go. And they get out there on that mountain, and that's the best mountain to explore, I've heard, because it always comes with a map.
I'm the map. I'm the map. I'm the map. Man, it's been a long time since I've watched Dora, but it stays in your head forever.
I got you one out of Pinellas County.
Ooh, that's down there in the Tampa area,
St.
right?
Pete, yes, sir. That's the old stomping grounds. A man from Kentucky. This is from WKYT. A man from Kentucky who won a $167 million lottery prize Saturday was arrested early Wednesday morning in Florida. According to police, James Farthing of Georgetown was taken into custody in Pinellas County after being accused of assaulting an officer. Farthing bought the $2 Powerball ticket for last Saturday's drawing and ended up making Kentucky lottery history with the largest prize ever awarded. He posed for photos with Celebrity Check on Monday, but by Wednesday morning, he was arrested. The citation states that Farthing was at a hotel Tuesday night when an officer tried to stop a fight. One person told officers Farthing punched him during the altercation. The arresting officer said Farthing kicked him in the face and resisted arrest. He's charged with battery of a law enforcement officer, resisting an officer, and battery, as well as violating parole. Farthing was on parole through August 2025, so close for charges in Kentucky. His court records include convictions of tampering with evidence, engaging in organized crime, drug charges, receiving stolen property, and theft by unlawful taking, which sounds like stealing, but okay. Farthing was set to split his lottery winnings with his mother, who said she would use the money to pay off debt, and I guess he'll be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, bond and all of the court costs and all of that good stuff. So,
yep.
Oh man, I hate that for him, though. I mean, you know, we got to answer for our own actions, but August, he was so close.
So close.
And then you come down here to Florida, so now
it'll do it to you.
Yeah, Florida will do it.
It'll do it to you.
Hey, I mean, it's bad enough. You can't mix Kentucky and Florida now. Daggum.
That's a combo right
that's
there.
That's bourbon and sunshine, brother.
And a lot of other things as well. But yeah, it was a good one. Thank you, David. Wandering bull takes parked scooter for a joyride.
Okay, how does this happen?
A security camera on a street in Rishikesh, Uttarakhand, India, captured a moment where a wandering bull took a parked scooter for a spin. The video shows the stray bull investigating the white scooter before putting its front legs onto the seat. The bull rolls the scooter out into the road while passerbys dash out of its path. The attempted joyride comes to an abrupt end when the bull crashes the scooter into a nearby gate, causing the vehicle to fall onto its side. The animal, which did not appear injured, casually walks away from the scene. The video is obviously really what tells it, so if you want to search it up, it's pretty hilarious how the bull gets on there and takes a little scooter there for a ride. But I mean, scooters are popular over there. They're probably the biggest mode of transportation when it comes to getting around there in these cities, the big cities over there in India.
I'm looking it up right now on UPI.com.
UPI.com. Baseball-loving birds cause duck delay in minor league game. Minor league baseball game in Missouri was delayed when a pair of ducks decided to land on the field and go for a walk in the bottom of the fourth inning. The Springfield Cardinals, a AA affiliate of the St. Louis Cardinals in the Texas League's North Division, shared a video showing the duck delay during Saturday's game. Duck delay. The video shows a pair of ducks wandering casually around the field.
A pair of ducks. It's almost like a paradox.
Yeah, very similar if you say it fast. A pair of ducks wandering casually around the field during the team's game against Northwest Arkansas Naturals, a Kansas City Royals affiliate. One of the ducks flew away on its own, but the other one insisted on remaining on the field, despite efforts by field crews to shoo it away. How do you spell shoo?
SHOO.
God, you're so good at that.
How do you spell it?
I didn't. Who knows?
Oh.
I didn't.
That's just how I would spell it.
Yeah,
I'm sure people spell it different ways.
That's how the act of getting something away is spelled. Shoo.
Yeah.
It's not shooey. Anyway, the duck eventually.
Shooey. I mean, I think people do say shooey, though.
Do they?
So that would be like SHOO. Do we go IE? Do we go EY right there? That one's
That's tough.
That's tough.
Maybe a double E at the end.
Double E. Okay, I like that.
Kind of like Keith Fleming, double M-I-N-G.
There you go.
The duck eventually waddled off the field when crews opened a gate in the outfield, eliciting cheers from the crowd. The Cardinals ended up losing their third consecutive game with a score of 5-4. Little quackers out there in the outfield.
I watched that video of the bull, though. I mean, I was wondering at first, what is he? It looks like he was climbing to climbing on that, like he's mounting it or something. You know,
he was. He just wanted to take it for a ride.
But then he got after it though, man. That is hilarious. Because when you said scooter at first, I'm thinking like a razor scooter.
Yeah,
not like one of the motor.
It's a motorized,
a
real deal.
And then I should have thought more about that, being that it was in Uttarakhand, India.
Yeah, you did way better than I did with that. Last but not...
It's tough to read, bro.
It is. It's got a lot of vowels in those, a lot of vowels, K's, N's, all that kind of stuff. Let's see. Coyote drinks from a Los Angeles salon's skylight. That's an interesting video. A Los Angeles hairdresser captured a video of a coyote who climbed on the roof of a salon to drink water collected in the skylight. Travis Ogletree posted a video to TikTok showing the scene he was confronted with when he looked up to the skylight at his Treehouse Salon in Los Angeles. The video shows the coyote standing on the roof and drinking water that had collected on the glass sunlight. Just another day at the Treehouse, Ogletree wrote. And I guess that was the thirsty coyote. I know water's an issue out there in California, so maybe that's where he could find it. So
there you go.
That's your Afternoon Delight debrief for today. When we get back, we'll be joined by our studio sponsor and owner and operator of Golf Plus right here in Panama City Beach, as well as up there in Dothan. His name is Alan Watson, and he is coming up next.
Weather in the Panhandle never stops. Turn to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast.
Up to the minute weather reports all day long.
A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain.
In-depth storm coverage.
Winter Storm Enzo.
And breaking weather as it happens.
Hurricane Helene.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
We do have a tropical storm warning.
Rely on it.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Monday's weather forecast. Sunny the rest of the day with temps near 78 and a wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. Clear skies tonight, a calm wind and a temperature of 65. About the same tomorrow, around 82 with mostly sunshine and a wind around 8 miles per hour coming out of the southeast. A variety of mostly clouds and light sprinkles Wednesday, a light breeze and quite warm around 80. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
TK Vandy Roofing and General Contracting is a fifth-generation contracting company based right here out of Bay County. TK Vandy's expertise in commercial and residential roofing, as well as a design-build general contractor, set them aside as a versatile and fresh alternative to achieve your construction needs. Contact TK Vandy Roofing, 850-866-9908, or email support@tkvandy.com. They can't wait to help you. Signworks, a business serving businesses since 1985. Everything from signs and banners, vehicles and boats, magnetic and real estate signs, contractor signs, and much more. Signworks can do large format, full color printing too. Signworks, a real professional in the business world. Call Signworks at 785-8899. Signworks, 850-785-8899.
Broadcasting from the Golf Plus studios, it's the Inside Drive. Welcome to the Inside Drive, the next big thing.
It's a big, huge, giant deal.
Sports betting, huge reactions, your calls and real-time coverage of the stories you're following on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome Welcome back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. A little percussion organ, I think, there, bringing us back in. What? We're excited to have our studio sponsor, owner-operator of Golf Plus, right here in the Edgewater Shopping Plaza in Panama City Beach, and, of course, up there on Montgomery Highway. I'm getting better at that. Not saying Mont, but Montgomery Highway on 231. Been there for 36 years. I can hear him laughing in the background. That is our good friend, Alan Watson. Alan, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Ryan. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing wonderful. Big win for Scotty this weekend. The two-time Masters champ began the final round Sunday at TPC Craig Ranch with an 8-shot lead over America's Ricky Castillo. His biggest challenge, though, came from Eric Van Rooyen. Despite a flawless 8-under 63 from the South African, Scheffler's matching 63 sealed the 8-shot victory. Scheffler also matched the low 72-hole score in PGA Tour history with 253 strokes. The tournament in his home state of Texas means a great deal to the golfer, given he made his first start as a pro 11 years ago right there. Scheffler was forced to skip this stop last year because of the birth of his son, Bennett. It's a lifetime of hard work and sacrifice for these little moments like these, Scheffler said in immediate aftermath of the victory, and they're pretty darn special. Paying tribute to the late Byron Nelson, he added, he's a great man. He was great for the game of golf. He was a great person, a family man, and I am proud to be a champion at his event. The 28-year-old set the lowest 36-hole total of his PGA Tour career when he followed his opening round 61 with a 63 on Friday. Alan, Scotty with an extremely dominant performance out there in Texas, is he the player to beat for the upcoming PGA Championship?
I mean, I think he is. I know we're coming off of Rory winning the Masters, and I know we're coming off of JT finally getting off a 3-year schneid of not winning. But Scotty Scheffler is and has been the best player in golf, hands down, for the last 2.5 years, probably maybe a little bit longer. And, he just seems very unflappable when he's playing his best golf, and he doesn't seem to not play his best golf very often. So I think he's definitely the favorite, really, anytime he tees it up, especially in the majors, because he is so calm compared to the other guys who put a lot more pressure on themselves. The guy's he's a hard worker. He's humble about it, the way he goes around the golf course, and he just takes care of business, as is evident by this completely dominating performance in Texas.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, to get to that kind of number in a PGA Tour event is pretty wild. I know you kind of mentioned his confidence, his nonchalantness, but in addition to those, what do you think makes him so good? I mean, he's got kind of a unorthodox move with his foot kind of sliding through as he comes through impact. What do you think? Is it his demeanor? Is it that calmness, that confidence? What do you think makes Scotty so darn good and been on this great run the last several years?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all those things, but I think if you want to look at his actual golf game, like the actual striking the ball and all that, he just doesn't make a lot of mistakes, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
He doesn't seem to, he's got the wedge game of a Jordan Spieth or a Phil Mickelson almost, not quite, but he's got that wedge game so he can get out of trouble. He drives the ball pretty much with everybody else, if not, longer than some, maybe not with Rory, but he drives the ball a long way, especially when he really wants to. His putting, especially in the last year or two, has come on, and it's one of those things where you see him standing over a 30-footer, and most of us would be thinking, just get it close. I think he believes it's going in, and I think that really helps him. I think he almost has almost like a Tiger confidence on the green. It's like he believes that ball should and will go in. And then I think that just when you putt with confidence, we all know that makes for a better day. And he doesn't seem to have weaknesses in terms of like golf course design or one side of the country or the other. Some guys obviously struggle on the West Coast. Some guys struggle in Florida with different grasses. He doesn't seem to be bothered by certain, styles of golf or other things. I think the term in sports we use is well-rounded.
Yeah.
He's just very well-rounded.
Absolutely. And, statistically, sometimes his putting really isn't that great. And I think what happened this past weekend is when you pair how good of a ball striker he is with a good putting week, and, it's just, it's kind of scary and doesn't look like anybody can really compete with him. Talking about major championships, if I've asked you this before, I apologize, but I'm going to ask again. Alan, what's your favorite major out of the four that we get to watch every year?
I mean, I'm pretty traditional. I like the Masters because it is the same course for the most part year in and year out, and so you really get to see like who thrives in that environment. And to me, I think it's very pressure packed in that everybody wants to win it. Everybody grew up thinking about it. From a more unique standpoint, I like the Open Championship because of where it moves around in Europe, and you get different looks in different golf courses. But you just sometimes you have those rounds where like it's pouring rain and it's nasty wind, and to me that just looks miserable. So then that's not as exciting to me as golf over here. But I mean, some people love that, watching them struggle. I don't. I don't want to see the umbrellas come out and the rain suits come out and all that. So for me, it's the Masters. I mean, I've gone off the U.S. Open and the PGA for boredom with the PGA and for watching people struggle at the U.S. Open on certain events. I mean, I remember watching Ernie Els like practically 8-putt one time on one of those greens where it would just, every time you putted, it would roll off the front and you'd have to chip back on. And I'm just like, that's just brutal. That's just mean. So, like, I guess, for all those reasons, it's the Masters.
Gotcha. I'm pretty sure that was Shinnecock Hills, if I remember correctly, because those greens, they pretty much almost lost him at that point. Yeah. Although I will say, in recent years, it seems like the golf courses, I don't want to use the word easy because the U.S. Open's never easy, but it seems like they've kind of dialed it back a little bit to get that scoring up or down, whichever way you're supposed to say. So.
Yeah, U.S. Open the last few years has not been as bad, but several years ago they made the U.S. Open as hard as they could make it, and it just just wasn't fun watching guys shoot 6 over and 7 over, and it's just like, oh, neat.
Yeah, And then the golf course itself has to do a lot of work to kind of get it back into shape because, when you burn up your greens like that, you're going to have to, take a week or so to kind of get them watered and get them back into where they need to be so you can get your member or public play wherever it is. Most of those golf courses are played on private clubs. But, when you got a Bethpage Black or something like that, it's a municipality, Chambers Bay, the one year when they decided to host it on a golf course that had fescue greens in the middle of the summer, which Dustin Johnson, I'm sure, still has nightmares about that. And Jordan Spieth walked into a major victory there. Today, it's absolutely spectacular outside. A beautiful day. Humidity's low. I know the dew point's right now in the 50s. But this past Saturday was not such a pretty day. Kind of rained on and off all day. Alan, when it's not nice outside, is renting the simulator an option for people if they want to play some golf, hit some balls, maybe even play a round of golf? Is that something you guys offer at your 2 locations?
Yeah, we do. Those rainy days get really busy for us, so sometimes there's not a spot in the simulator.
Yeah.
We get a lot of fittings that happen because of that. But yeah, that is an option. You can go on our website and you can actually rent time, and we do have an assortment of different courses, famous courses like Pebble Beach and places like that you can play. And it's a lot of fun, and it gets you your golf fix in quite a bit less time than it takes to play a regular golf course. And then some guys will just rent the bay just to come in and work on their numbers or, see how their clubs are working and that sort of thing. So there are other things we can do as well. But yeah, it's a good rainy day activity if we're not too booked.
Yeah, no doubt. Can they book that, or is it first come, first serve when it comes to that?
No, it has to be booked in advance. So they can either call and book if we're open, or they can go to the website, golfplusdothan.com, and you can book for either location there. It's in the fitting tab. But under the fittings, when you're selecting whether it's a driver fitting, iron fitting, whatever, there's also one that says 1 hour simulator rental. And so you can book it that way as well.
Yeah, and play like you just said earlier, a very fast round of golf because you don't have to ride or walk to your next shot. It just magically happens right there on the simulator. Ryder Cup coming up this fall. Excited about that. It's going to be up there at Bethpage Black on the tip of Long Island there, and those New York sports fans are a different breed. I remember when Sergio was playing in the U.S. Open that was at Bethpage Black. I want to say that was in the mid-2000s, and that was when he was struggling to pull the club back and regripping, and he was actually getting booed by the fans. I believe Tiger ended up winning that U.S. Open, if I remember correctly. But how nuts do you think this Ryder Cup is going to be with all those New York sports fans up there coming up this fall?
Yeah, I mean, the fans are going to be raucous because they always are, but I think you're going to kind of doubling down because the U.S. Ryder Cup team has been so bad in the last numerous years that, American fans want to see these guys win, and we arguably have some of the best players in the world, and we should be able to compete and be able to win. And, you know, I remember how much confidence they went to Marco Simone with, and it was like, ugh, they just threw up all over themselves, you know. So combine the rough New York fans who are very dyed-in-the-wool sports fans and let you know it, and then combine that with the desire for America to get back on top of the Ryder Cup, it could be a very loud event come this fall, and I'm excited for it.
A bucket list opportunity. Have you ever been to a Ryder Cup or a President's Cup or anything like that?
No, and I told my wife the other day, she said, how come we've never been to something like that? I'm like, well, I didn't know if you'd want to, you know, go to an event more than one day, and those are the kind of things you really do need to go multiple days for. And so we're definitely going to put it on the bucket list for the next several years, especially if it'll come back closer. Like I remember, you know, it was in Kentucky one year, so that's not too far. At Valhalla, exactly. So if it'll come back a little closer, not that we can't get on a plane, but it's just I definitely don't want to go to New York for that. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely bucket list, and it'll be great to see. I think it's just I honestly am losing confidence in these guys because they're so good on paper, and then you're just like these no-name guys from Europe just trounced them last year, and you're like, oh well. All right.
That's the thing that drives me the craziest is like, I don't know if it was because Zach Johnson, I don't want to throw any shade at Zach Johnson, but he was almost like he was a wet noodle as the captain and didn't have that fire, because as the captain, it's your responsibility to have your players prepared and ready to go. And I just don't know about Zach. I'm hoping that Keegan, with his appointment as the Ryder Cup captain, which I thought was a great appointment, will have those guys ready to go. Heck, he may even be playing in the Ryder Cup as a captain.
I'd like to see him be a playing captain. I mean, he certainly has the resume for it, and his golf game has not been shabby the last few years, and he should have been on that team, you know, the last time anyway.
He got screwed.
You know, I think he's definitely capable of putting himself out, even if it's just on Sunday in singles or something, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, Keegan's a good appointment, and he's still a good age, right? I mean, he's not aged out yet. He's not Stuart Sink. He's not, you know, whatever. But he's also still in touch with these guys, and he knows a lot of them. So, But yeah, Zach Johnson's biggest mistake was just making it a boys' club, and I think there was just more of a frat party atmosphere, and they didn't take it seriously enough, in my opinion. And I don't really know that to be the case, but that's what it felt like.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, it felt like a boys' trip. It's like, hey guys, let's go to the Bahamas and play golf, right? It's like, no. Y'all are getting killed over here. Like, y'all need to take this more seriously. So I totally agree with you. I mean, that should have been Zach's job to put a fire in him. And maybe he just doesn't have that killer instinct, or maybe he tried and they didn't take it. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll never know what happened behind those closed doors. But, you know, obviously I think they are, in fact, filming the next season of Full Swing right now, which would be awesome because we'll have the Rory, you know, Players Championship, and then we'll have the Rory Masters to see. And, of course, if they film all the way through the rest of the season, we'll also have the 2025 Ryder Cup at Bethpage Black. And hopefully the fans can get something that they deserve, because if the Europeans just seem to take it way more seriously than we do, and they're going to be wanting to beat us on U.S. soil, especially in the New York market. So hopefully the whole crew can get that motivated, because if you can't get motivated for that, I don't know what you can get motivated for, because
totally agree.
That's like the creme de la creme of golf and what you want to do and play in these match plays and beat the Europeans who've kind of had our number the last. It's almost like that Medina collapse when we were leading so much and then we went to singles and lost it was a big turning point in the Ryder Cup for us. But hopefully we can get it right back to U.S. soil on U.S. soil coming up this fall. Alan, speaking of coming up, what you got coming into your shops there recently, if there's some new stuff coming in?
Yeah, we just got in the new Odyssey Square to Square. We've had their Square to Square line of putters for a while now. That's been their zero torque line to compete with Lab. But they finally released something called Max, which is a bigger head. It kind of looks a little bit like the DF3 design from Lab, which has been really popular. So this is kind of an interesting addition to the line. It's not going to be for everybody because it kind of has a unique look. And then, of course, we talked last week about mini drivers that have been coming in, so that's still happening. And, you know, the rest of it's kind of late in the season, so we're not seeing a lot of new introduction stuff. But there's still plenty of good golf left to be played. I know I played yesterday. It was absolutely gorgeous outside. And so there's still plenty of time in the season to come get fitted, get new products. Maybe if you just need to get your clubs regripped, whatever, there's a lot of opportunity left in golf season.
And then, of course, with these putters you're talking about, irons, drivers aren't just the only thing that you should get fit for. You can get fit for a putter as well, and you'd highly recommend that, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely want to take a look at you, even if you don't have time for a full fitting with the putter, which is important. But if you don't, I mean, even just getting the right length is a good starting point. Even getting the right head design that makes sense that you can actually line up, because not every putter works with everybody's eyes. And then you've got the hosel configurations, and that makes a big difference with how the club kind of flows or doesn't flow. And so, yeah, I mean, it is way more than just saying, I like this brand or this is my price point or whatever. Those are literally just starting points. There are 5 or 6 other elements that we want to look at with a putter and really get right for you.
Absolutely. I was talking with Jay when he was in studio with me last Thursday, and, he's the king of the center-shafted putter. And, when you have a center-shafted putter, that's a very specific type of setup and stroke that you have to make. You can't really be a lot of rotation when you got that center-shafted putter. But, you got the plumber's neck, you got the S-bend, you got all these different things that are so important based on your height, your wrist height to the ground, what you do with your, are you just taking it straight back, straight through, or are you a rotational putter? So, like we always talk about with club fitting, and go see Golf Plus, but don't neglect that putter. Obviously, it's got to look good to your eye, but there's a lot of other factors, like Alan just said, besides price point and that you need to get squared away so that when you take that putter back, you're rolling the rock right on that line, because that's the end of the day what it comes to. Obviously, there's a lot of variables in putting. You have to understand how to read the green, speed, all that stuff, but if you got the right tool in your hand, should give you a little more confidence to make the right stroke.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's really important. You got to get it right.
Definitely. Alan, we appreciate you jumping on. Real quick before we go, tell everybody your 2 great locations.
Yeah, so in Dothan, Alabama, which is about an hour and 45 minutes north of here, we are on Montgomery Highway. We've been in the same spot for 36 years, and so we'd love to take care of you if you're ever up in that market. And then here in Panama City Beach, we are at the Shops at Edgewater, right next to Firefly Restaurant, right off of Front Beach Road. So, yeah, if you're anywhere in the area, come see us, and we'll get you taken care of.
Absolutely. That's Alan Watson with Golf Plus. Go check him out. Go get your game in the best shape you could possibly have. We'll be right back with our final segment on this Monday.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Yes, we do. We got a winner. Good morning.
This is Coach O's at Russ Fight.
Oh, my God. Coach O.
We're down here in Orlando, and we won the individual bracket, and now we got to go against the winners who won the team bracket for the overall.
Orlando, New Jersey.
Yes, Orlando. I was looking on that.
Weekday morning 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Golf is a game that should be fun, but to have the most fun, you need to play your best. That's where the experts at Golf Plus come in. Their friendly staff will guide you through the buying process, answer all your questions, and can help with any repairs you need along the way. Golf Plus is your custom fitting, club repair, and golf retail shop. Golf Plus staff is non-commissioned and will work with you to find the best product for your game, just like they've been doing since 1988. Golf Plus in Dothan and Panama City Beach. Fitting, repair, retail. That's Golf Plus.
Take your next adventure in an award-winning Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Discover the new Kia. We invite you to stop by Bill Bird Kia and test drive the new 2025 Kia. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. The 2025 Kia SUV family has movement that inspires. Drive away today in a new 2025 Kia Soul, Seltos, Sportage, Sorento, or Telluride. Fuel the thrill and command the road in the luxury of a 2025 Kia K5 sedan from Bill Bird Kia. Performance, power, and design built for you. Spark inspiration in the all-electric 2025 EV9. It's a modern masterpiece, fast charging, rugged, and roomy. Bill Bird Kia is the original home for the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or anytime at BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust. Your local community dealer is Bill Bird Kia.
Now back to the Inside Drive, live and local from the Golf Plus studios. Best of Bay winning inside drive with all your lines, props, and covers. Winning on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We got Doc A tomorrow. I don't think Brad Law, I think he's a week after next, but we got Doc A. He'll be diving into our NBA action. A lot of local stuff going on tonight. A lot of teams in our area still in the Elite Eight. We'll start with the rural regional finals, or as Jay would say it, rural. You can't move your lips when you say the word rural. Rural, oil, rural. Port St. Joe and Cottondale start their series. In the other rural regional finals, you got Jay and Holmes, not Jay Henley, but the school Jay. And then the 2A region finals, Bozeman has to run through all those private schools and doesn't stop now as they'll be taking on, I think, number 7 team in the nation, maybe number 9 team in the nation, Trinity Christian Academy. So Bozeman will be traveling back to Jacksonville again.
Man, that's all 3 series.
All 3 series have been over there in Jacksonville. And they're having to go through all these private academies. I still don't understand how public schools play private schools in these state tournaments. Like, you can offer scholarships, you can recruit. You can't, I mean, I guess you could recruit technically in public school by trying to get people to move schools. Technically, but
see, I went to one of the small Christian schools, the small Christian schools, right? So we don't have the same outlook on it. It's like, oh dang, we got to go play the public schools. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, but some of those teams have, like, down in St. Pete. It was like, if you're going to a Christian academy or a Catholic school or whatever, there was a different beast, if you will. So
no doubt.
But I mean, congratulations to Bozeman for a heck of a run. Looking like, after that first game in the first series, 16-5 loss, and then to bounce back from that has been absolutely impressive.
No doubt. And then over in the 3A region finals, you got South Walton hosting Swanee with a trip to the Final Four on the line. The 4A regional finals, you got Clay coming right here tonight. I believe game time is 7 p.m. to take on the Arnold Marlins, again with a trip. It's a best out of 3 series, so they got to win 2, but with a trip to the region or the Final Four as well. And then the 5A side of things, you got Lincoln taking on Niceville in that series. So good luck to all the local teams still alive in the Elite Eight. But cool to see so many teams in our area still with the state championship hopes
still alive
on the line. Over there on the softball side of things, regionals set to get underway, not today, not tomorrow, but coming up on the 7th, which is Wednesday. You got North Bay Haven Academy, the number 1 seed in the 2A Region 1 bracket. They'll be taking on Walton. Again, best out of 3 as well, or are these just single? I'm putting you on the spot there. We'll have to ask.
Banji?
Yes, we'll have to ask.
I think I'll have him back on with us this week. I would imagine that it would be best of 3.
I would hope so. The only thing that made me think it wasn't is because on Max Preps on the bracket, it says games 1 and 2 in the baseball thing, but it doesn't say that here there on the softball side of things. But hopefully maybe somebody could text us or comment on Facebook, because
850-215-6290. Program it into your phone. Put us on speed dial.
That's it. Or, hey, Alexa, hey, Siri, call ESPN Northwest Florida.
There you go.
That's all you got to do. But North Bay Haven.
Crank Yankus.
Oh, yeah, that was a great show. A little inappropriate, but funny nonetheless.
Well, I mean, the time slot that was on.
Yeah, it was a little bit later in the evening, or later at night, I should say. But North Bay Haven only with 3 losses on the season. The Bozeman Bucks also in the 2A Region 1 bracket there. They'll be taking on Florida State University High School. We could have another North Bay Haven Bozeman matchup as they met each other in the district championship. North Bay Haven, the number 1 seed, has a chance to host. Obviously, they're hosting this one. Could host the Region 1 semifinals, and then, of course, the Region 1 finals.
Softball is single elimination.
Thank you for so quick to the dive. Thank you, Coach Olds. And speaking of Coach Olds, I'll get to something with him in just a second. On the other side of the bracket, you got Baldwin versus Freeport, the number 2 and number 7 seed, and then the Episcopal School of something. The Episcopal School of Jacksonville. Imagine that, versus Bishop Snyder. So I guess Region 1 stretches all the way across the entire top of the state.
Yeah, Jacksonville's got themselves some teams, don't they?
No doubt. They're probably thinking about that about us. On the Class 4 Region 1 tournament part of the bracket. Several teams in our listening area. You got Baker County, number 1 seed, taking on Choctawhatchee. That's at Baker County. Single elimination game. They'll take on the winner of Arnold versus Clay. Even though Arnold is the number 4 seed, Clay won their district championship. So Arnold is traveling to Clay to take on whatever mascot they are. And then you got Fort Walton Beach.
They're the Clay...
the Clay Reds?
Well, what do you call it when you... The Clay Potters.
Clay Potters. The Clay Potters. I like that. Makes me think of Will Cotter. Fort Walton Beach, number 2 seed in the Region 1 part of the 4A state tournament, will be taking on Menendez, not the brothers, but the school. And Columbia will be taking on Escambia County. That is at Escambia because Escambia won their district and Columbia did not. The Fort Walton Beach Menendez will be over there at Fort Walton Beach. We'll keep you updated throughout both of the tournaments. And, of course, good luck to all the high schools that are still in their state playoff games, as we'd love to see maybe a few state championships this year in our local area. Over there on the tennis side of things, I appreciate Coach Olds kind of keeping me updated. Hopefully I don't butcher this, but the Awantang sisters beat Berrien Collar for the overall championship 6-3 to 6-4. That was in doubles as well. And then Mabongta lost in the quarterfinals in singles, but a great run nonetheless. And then Katie Rucci and Chelsea Kasapu, they ended up being the players that came out of the team bracket, and then the individual bracket winners play the team bracket winners for the overall championship. So congratulations to the Awantangs on a great tennis season and all the other great Rutherford tennis players over the last several years. And I appreciate Coach Olds for keeping us updated on that. Also want to give a big good luck to all the middle school track teams as the Bay County Track Championship starts at 1 o'clock this afternoon. And, of course, good luck to the University Academy Eagles, the ladies and the boys. It's going to be a long 5-ish hours of a track meet over there at Tommy Oliver Stadium. But the good news is it's an absolutely spectacular day. And like I've mentioned multiple times on the show, the humidity is a lot less today, and it feels fantastic out there. All right, David, I believe we have 2 basketball games and 1 hockey game, maybe 2 hockey games coming up tonight.
I haven't even looked at the schedule tonight.
1 hockey game coming up tonight.
It's 3 days in a row with just 1 hockey game?
I know, it's kind of sad. But tomorrow I think we got a couple. Yeah, tomorrow we got Carolina Caps, Oilers, and Knights. So we got 2 tomorrow night. Tonight we've got the first game of the Panthers Maple Leaf series. Guess what? It's a 1.5 point spread, and the over-under is 5.5. Panthers are the favorite in this one. If you bet them minus 1.5, that's going to get you plus 180 odds. If you take the Maple Leafs plus 1.5, that's minus 250. Over-under 5.5. The 5.5 over will pay you a little bit more than the under. Panthers are minus 130 on the money line. Maple Leafs are plus 110. David Hayes, what do you think about this game coming up tonight?
I like the Panthers. I like the Panthers big tonight, man. I like them to open up the series the same way that they did against Tampa, maybe 6-2.
And they opened up the series against Tampa on the road as well, and this is up there in Toronto. I agree with you as well. I think the Panthers are definitely the better hockey team and have a better goalie right now. And, Maple Leafs are just kind of, they got through round 1, which, they haven't done a ton in the last 20 years. They obviously did last year, but prior to that, I think 2004 was the last time they won a playoff series. And going to be a tough task against those Florida Panthers, who we mentioned earlier are the favorite, according to Hard Rock, to win the Stanley Cup championship. Tonight, we've got 2 basketball games coming up. Got the opening game of the East semifinals between the New York Knicks at the Boston Celtics. The Knicks are a plus 8.5 point on the spread. Over-under is 213.5. The Knicks are plus 300 if you bet them on the money line, making the Celtics minus 8.5. Same odds if you take the Knicks or the Celtics. Over-under, same odds on both of those as well. Can the New York Knicks find a way to open the series with a win up there in New York? How important is Jalen Brunson going to be in this game?
I mean, he's going to be absolutely important. Every player on the bench is going to be absolutely important in a series like this, especially, and this is no slack towards Detroit, but the Knicks struggled in that series. And what game was it? Game 4 or Game 5, where they had the call in the corner, I believe, on Tim Hardaway Jr. that should have not really been I was going to say penalty or a flag. It shouldn't have been a foul right there. So yeah, it's important that they play deep. That all of the role players, but Jalen Brunson is going to be the straw that stirs the drink. So it's going to be important. I don't think that they really stand a chance. I think that it's not going to be a gentleman's sweep, though. I think the Knicks will find a way to win a game or two. Well, 2 games, being that it's 6. But I don't think that happens tonight. I think Boston picks up where they left off.
Yeah, obviously. Not the number 1 seed in the East side, but still the defending champs. And until the defending champs are dethroned, they're still the defending champs. Yeah. 1 game in the Western Conference. You got the Denver Nuggets traveling to the OKC Thunder. Thunder are a 10-point favorite, over under 226.5. Minus 450 straight up there for the OKC Thunder. Denver is a big-time underdog in this game at plus 325. What do you think, David?
The MVP award is a regular season award, but these are the 2 guys
no doubt,
that are vying for the 2025 NBA MVP, and I'm just excited for the series. I think it's wild that Denver, after the dismantling of L.A., the Clippers, in the 7th game, I think it's wild that they're a 10-point dog here. So I went ahead and parlayed it up, man. We talked about the Florida Panthers. So I took the over, took Panthers plus or minus 1.5 and the money line, obviously. And then, added that with plus 10 to the Denver Nuggets. And then the Braves getting a win against the Reds tonight on the at the house. So we'll see how that plays out.
But pretty good on that.
Yeah, and I took Boston as well to win. Just a stupid little parlay, but always fun parlays. Again, this is one where I'm just going to be watching this series. I have no... OKC is the best team in the West, the same way that Cleveland, like record-wise, right, is the best team in the East. This is going to be crazy, man. How much better does it get to have Joker versus SGA in this series for possibly 7 games?
No doubt, no doubt. It's going to be well-watched.
I think Denver wins the series.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, hot take, man.
I want OKC to win the series, and I think that they're the better team, but I also think that experience is going to play a huge role here, and the Nuggets have been. I mean, how wild is it that they got past that first series after, out of thin air, firing their coach?
Yeah, it's both teams that fired their coaches are still in the playoffs.
Yeah,
wild stuff there, wild stuff, and not the Minnesota Wild.
The Grizzlies are still in the playoffs?
Oh, I thought it was Minnesota that fired their coach.
No,
Memphis. Memphis got bounced in the first round.
They got whooped. They got whooped.
Bounced like a black bear fighting you back. But yeah, those are the games coming up. The line literally just moved. Looking at it, it's now 9.5. So the money, maybe your money that threw on the Nuggets there at plus 10 is moving that spread just a little bit. Like David said, Atlanta Braves coming up tonight after that series with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Unfortunately, they dropped 2 out of the 3. Bryce Elder was on the mound yesterday. Looked pretty good in that 4-3 victory there for the Atlanta Braves. How about Spencer Strider for the Yankees?
Max Fried.
Max Fried. Sorry, I don't know why I said Strider. He's hopefully coming back soon. Is he back
yet? Ace to ace. No, he's back on the injured list. So he should be back sometime this week, maybe next week. I hope that they don't push him, because that's, to an extent, what happened this last time.
Yeah.
So, but different injuries, right? He was dealing with the Tommy John. Now it's the tight hamstring. So
hamstrings are not good, especially if it's on your push-off leg. But yes, and Max Fried's just, 6-0, I think, for the Yankees?
I believe he's 6-0.
His ERA is less than 2.
Still picking fellas off. I mean, it's one of those that, as a Braves fan, me personally, did not sting and nowhere near the way. We knew for the last 2 years that Max Fried more than likely was not going to be an Atlanta Brave when it came time to get a new contract. But still, love it for the guy. Hate that he's doing it for that team. But, I mean, right now what Max Fried is doing, what Aaron Judge is doing, the Yankees having huge storylines in baseball is great for the game. So as much as I hate it, I like it a lot as well.
Absolutely. Coverage starting after the afternoon underdogs coming up at 4 to 6. We'll jump right into the Atlanta Braves game. First pitch, 6:15 at home, at home against the Cincinnati Reds. Same thing tomorrow night as well. Same time, same place, same team. You're listening to the Inside Drive. We appreciate you hanging out. We'll be back tomorrow with Max Delighten in studio.